Hello, this is a message for someone who has recently encountered either one major or a series of setbacks or obstacles to some kind of pursuit, some kind of endeavor, some kind of mission or quest that you are involved in for yourself is what I'm getting. Okay, even if it's professional, because I'm getting a number of examples. It could be anything though, from schooling, professional, personal project, it doesn't really matter. But the bottom line is something that you were doing on your own for yourself, and it was a personal goal, quest, pursuit of some kind. And there's been a serious or one major setback or obstacle as of recently that has made you feel really discouraged, is what I'm getting. Okay, so if this message is for you, you might have been pumped up until this series of setbacks or this major setback, and this has totally like derailed your plans somehow. Say for example, you were gonna open a business and you were counting on some kind of loan, and then this loan got turned down, for example. Well, it's like your whole plan has been derailed, is how you feel, because this was it seems like maybe you only had one plan of action. If you made a business plan, if this is for a business, you only had one plan of action. If you applied to a school, you only applied to one school that you wanted to get in. Or if you were trying to get a house, you only like went for one. Okay, and so whatever this is, the fact that things did not go as planned, and furthermore that there was this, like, either you got turned down for something or rejected, or there was some major setback, obstacle, or again a series of ones that amounted to what felt like a major one, to the point that you're now questioning whether you should be doing this at all. But here's the thing, the message that I'm getting, if this has resonated and you feel like the message is for you, is that these obstacles are actually pointing to the way. And it's interesting because years ago I read a book that I really, really liked, called The Obstacle is the Way. And me, a student of alchemy for many years, found it very interesting, because that's not something they address in that book. I don't think they look at it, I don't think there's talk like this spiritual alchemical process specifically. It's more of a self-development book, but it talks about all the spiritual concepts just from a more personal development lens. But either way, it's the same concept of turning, people who are not familiar with alchemy may think back to, the mythical turning lead into gold type thing. But it really just means spiritually taking anything that could be a negative and turning it into a positive, right? Anything that could be an obstacle and turn it into a profit, right? And so that's the theme of this book. I haven't read it in a long time, but I did read it a couple of times because I liked it a lot. I even have a tattoo that pretty much is about that concept: turn every obstacle into an opportunity. And so that's what the message coming through for whoever this is about. These so perceived obstacles and setbacks are actually laying down the path to what you want to achieve. It's just not the path you had envisioned, because the path you had envisioned wouldn't actually lead you to where you think it would lead you. It was too simple, and life is just not that simple, I guess. And this is more of an energetic journey than you may realize, okay? For you to manifest these things you're trying to manifest is kind of a huge quantum leap, is what I'm getting, okay? So whatever you were trying to do, maybe say you were trying to start a business, maybe you haven't worked for yourself before, so it's that kind of leap, okay? Or maybe you hadn't pursued higher education, and then you decided to go later on in life, something like that, where it's like a major like reality shift for you. Is a quantum leap, because it's really outside your element, but it's what you're striving for. So what you need to understand is there's going to be like a transitional period. It's not so easy to quantum leap. It sounds fast, but it's really not, okay? And you've probably heard of, people who are overnight success and then they've been in the industry for 15 years. That's typically what an overnight success is, okay? So for them, it doesn't feel overnight at all, because maybe before they even got in the industry, it took years to even get prepped to be in that mentality, to be in the industry at all, let alone be successful in whatever industry that we're speaking of. So whatever you're trying to do seems like a really long-term thing. Say it's like higher education as well. Maybe you just want a whole new career with a whole new degree and trajectory, and so yeah, it's going to be a long path. And these obstacles or obstacle, I'm getting, there's two groups. One where one major thing happened, like say you got rejected or turned down for a loan, or rejected for the school you wanted, or it just made you feel like, okay, this is impossible then, because the one way I saw it happening is not happening. And then there's another group where you've just had a series of obstacles that feel to you like maybe is God telling you this isn't for you. And for that group, there's a secondary message coming through, and is that there might be a chorus of people around you putting really negative thoughts into your mind about what you are trying to accomplish or what you're trying to do. Let's go back to this college example. Maybe you're surrounded by people that don't think there's any worth in going back to school, or that don't believe in the industry you want to get involved in. Say you want to get involved in AI. Maybe you have a lot of people around you who are very anti-AI, and so they're making you feel like discouraged. And so that's compounding with these obstacles to you not seeing the obstacles in the right framework to take advantage of them and turning into an opportunity, okay? Again, there's some kind of clues in these obstacles. So let's go back to the school example for some reason. Maybe this is just not the right school for you. You thought it was. Maybe God has a better school for you in mind. And if you were to go to this one, maybe you wouldn't meet future business partners that you're supposed to meet in this school, or you wouldn't be exposed to concepts that maybe will shape your career moving forward. Okay, so there's a larger plan here, and whatever is happening is actually gonna be like, how they say on the internet, do it for the plot. It's actually gonna be like a big part of your story. When you look back on it as an elderly person, you will see how this played some kind of pivotal role into you turning into who you're going to turn into, okay? This experience or experiences, if it's been a series of setbacks, are actually informing your development, okay? They're contributing to you developing the character you need to develop to become this person you are on your way to becoming. Think about success stories of people like, I'm trying to remember some specific examples. I think J.K. Rowling was turned down a ton of times for Harry Potter 1, the Philosopher's Stone. I think she was turned down a ton of times. There's tons of stories, if you look it up, of people who ended up being ginormous successes. Last time I heard, Harry Potter books were the second best-selling books in history after the Bible. So, there were a number of publishing houses that turned that down. Think about that. Now, her story probably wouldn't be as significant if she hadn't been turned down at some point, okay? And who knows if she would have the drive or the personality required to create these worlds, not just for one book, but the amount of other books and movies and series and everything that's come out of it, if she hadn't gone through those challenges. So you don't know in which ways these experiences are shaping you right now, and you probably won't fully realize it until later on in your life when you're looking back on it. But understand that, the obstacles happening are actually the way. There are clues in these obstacles to shape your way forward, and you need to think about the end goal of what you want, and understand that the path there may be different than what you envisioned. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful.